Good afternoon. I am thrilled to be the first voice that you will hear this evening. So, for a few minutes, I will share bold but brief ideas about crypto, capital, and community. I want to begin by thanking SOCAP Global and Kellogg Foundation for the opportunity to share my vision for the future of blockchain and cryptocurrency. As has been shared, my background in Washington politics is what led me to crypto. It was actually during the Obama administration in 2013 that I first learned about Bitcoin. I will tell you, what led me down the rabbit hole was when I finally understood the opportunity for an open financial system. One that was accessible to everyone, especially those who had never participated before, but more importantly, one that was not already owned by a centralized entity or powerful body. Once I learned that, I was hooked. Fast forward today, crypto has been a defining part of my journey, professionally and personally. In my role as Executive Director of Blockchain Foundation, I seek to demystify the language of crypto. I want people to have access to trusted content from reputable sources. Just as the world trusts that their data is in the cloud, a cloud they don't even understand, I want to get us to the point where we can have that level of confidence in blockchain and cryptocurrency. But to level set a bit, I know there are various people in this audience that may or may not understand what blockchain and cryptocurrency are. So, very quickly, blockchain is simply technology that does three things. Securely verifies information, that's the ledger you hear about. Facilitates the exchange of value, that's cryptocurrencies. Without third parties, that's decentralization. Those are the tenets. But as you can see, it is way, way, way beyond financial services. While decentralized finance provides a pathway for wealth creation, blockchain innovation has put us on track to solve one of the biggest problems we have across the globe: digital identity management. Take a look at that. There's a lot happening around digital identity. Now, how much do many of you know about blockchain and cryptocurrency? Well, it's a $4 trillion market, which has been fueled by founders and consumers. And we have concrete data that shows the earliest adopters were people who could not participate in the financial system: working class people, young people, communities of color. So it goes without saying from a policy perspective that we have to be focused on economic growth for rural and urban communities. New entrants are driving digital finance. Non-traditional participants with a high tolerance for risk and a preference for alternatives. Now, I know some folks here that might scare them, but for a lot of people in our marketplace, that is what they're attracted to. So we must ask ourselves, how do we balance risk mitigation with innovation empowerment? Especially as mainstream consumers, retail investors, households look to Web3 and DeFi. Here are my thoughts. We can no longer conflate financial inclusion with consumer protection. Some of us think they're the same things. They are polar opposites. Think of financial inclusion as freedom to purchase a car. But the old consumer protection narrative tells that new car owner, don't drive that car, you're gonna die. Now, I argue that we can foster innovation with smart guardrails. So essentially, yeah, you actually might die if you drive your car. But know that you're required to have a driver's license. You have to have insurance. And also, here are the steps to take when something goes wrong, because it will. risk should not deter us from being able to access the financial system. Technology can provide pathways for financial inclusion. I'd like to share a solution that's in development. I mentioned Kellogg Foundation before. They are spurring impact through investment. As I shared, I'm executive director of Blockchain Foundation, and we've partnered with Prosperity Now and Intersect Public Affairs to actually do a national survey of a small subset of the banking system. You may know them as Community Development Financial Institutions, CDFIs, Minority Depository Institutions, MDIs. We're looking at these institutions that serve rural and urban America and asking them about their thoughts about digital assets. The research report will come out later this fall, but the early findings is that they're interested in looking at digital assets, but they want to know how to protect their institutions and also their clients. That's an important place to start because we can innovate, but we can also put in the guardrails to make sure that people can participate. As I close, I want to emphasize how unusual, distinctive, change-making today's marketplace is. What do I mean by that? Today's marketplace includes 5 generations. When I was growing up, I'm a Gen Xer, it was just us and the boomers, and we did whatever they told us. That is not the case today. If you're a builder, you have to build with boomers in mind, but with Gen Xers like me in mind, but with millennials in mind, with Gen Z in mind, with Gen Alpha in mind, people under 13, even with people who are born this year who are Gen Beta. Somebody's transacting for them already. Now, how can the marketplace fill this moment? I'm confident that there's a place in decentralized finance for them. But I also want to reassure you that this moment is accessible to you too. Do not be driven by FOMO. Take your time, start with your industry, only focus on your body of knowledge, your industry. You'd be surprised how much information is already out there. Don't go to things that you don't know. If you're in healthcare, there's a lot happening already. I want to tell you that crypto will wait for you whenever you're ready. We're at the starting line. Thank you. I hope you found this very helpful.